You're listening to Tori Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Tori, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, Marcy receives a direct challenge from Steve in India. Also, what would you like to eat in the hospital today? And a little wardrobe malfunction on the Polar Express.
So the funniest thing happened today.
I'm ready.
I took you to Flagstaff. We're driving down the street, and I've just been getting slammed with all these spam phone calls. My phone is not doing an adequate job of sorting out what's real and what isn't. So a number comes up and it's local, and I answer it, and it's obviously someone in a call center, right? So I knew that it wasn't
Steve in India? Our friend Steve in India?
It was actually, yes, it was Steve in India. And he said, is Frank there? He yells, no, you have the wrong number. And he got really mad.
What?
And he got really mad. And he said, I know I have the right number. I have the material right in front of me. And he was yelling.
The mask drops.
And we're laughing at him. And I said, excuse me, sir, but do I sound like a Frank? And he hung up the phone.
Steve in India. Yeah, they're known for their unflappability, the Steves of India. I'm amazed.
He had his information right in front of him, and he knew it was right.
Yes. You know, I know some people like that. It doesn't matter what's actually happening. If they've got a piece of paper right in front of them that says it's X, Y, or Z.
Oh, that's kind of a lot of our country right now. A lot of our country right now
That's
is
true.
like that.
That's true. Speaking of marketing phone calls, I have not mentioned this at the last podcast because it had not happened, but I spent a little bit of time in our neighborhood hospital. Well, not the neighborhood hospital, one of the Shining City on the Hill hospitals, of which Chicago has several. And my room apparently had a phone number that the marketing callers of the world have in their system. There's a little bit of excitement there when you're in the middle of lying in the hospital and you look at the phone and you think, well, what could it possibly be? And you ignore it, you pull it out of the wall, and about 8 hours later you plug it back in and it's still happening from Steve in India. And then the nurse comes in and she says, well, that's going to be how you order your meal. And you realize that if you want your generic macaroni and cheese and toast, you have to first go through Steve in India.
They don't bring you a little long piece of paper anymore and you check off what you want?
Well,
say no green Jell-O?
Red Jell-O, my case, which is banned in San Francisco. I believe I've told you why the University of California has banned red Jell-O. We have a friend who's...
It causes autism?
Just wait a minute. It'll maybe turn out like that. But we have a friend who's a pediatric liver specialist, and he kept getting called into work because the patients were allegedly puking up blood, and it turned out it was all red Jell-O. So now nowhere in the University of California, San Francisco hospital system can you get a cup of red Jell-O even if you beg. Now, no.
I can see now I like the picture of green vomit because it's just kind of reminds me of a cartoon.
It's very South Park. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Okay. So your hospital room.
So you asked about the ordering of the food in the hospital?
Yeah.
There's what theoretically you can have, and then there's what you really can have. So when I explained that when I was able to eat again, which wasn't going to be for a couple of days, I was just going to eat vegetarian because I keep kosher, and I thought that would be the best course of action. And she said, oh no, we have a kosher menu. And she brought this menu that, when they print it out, it always looks pretty good. And so I checked off a bunch of things, and then nothing happened. So now it's 2 days, and now it's the third day, and I'm supposed to eat something, and nothing comes. And so they say, well, scan the little thing and call the little number. And I call down and I say, well, what became of my cheese omelet, please? And they say, oh, we don't have any of those. And I say, it's on the kosher menu. She says, well, we don't have any. So I go on to lunch and dinner. I said, well, what about the chicken soup? And she says, we don't have kosher chicken soup. And now I'm thinking, this is sacrilege. What do you mean you don't have, if you're going to have chicken soup at all, you have the kind that people who keep kosher, who invented the damn chicken soup as a cure in the first place, can't have it. It just got weirder and weirder. And then I managed to just say, well, what do you have? So she gave me a list and I said, okay, that'll be fine. And then none of it showed up. And then I called and said, whatever happened to my little cheese pancake? Because the whole thing starts all over again. We don't have any cheese pancake.
We're waiting for DoorDash.
Yesterday you offered me, and it's weird because the food all is suckaroony, right? But now you really, really want this suckaroony food because you're on day 4 of sustaining yourself on an IV in your arm and soda crackers. And that's it. And you're hungry, maybe.
Well, I've always wondered because, like you, I've done my time in hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone's going to be executed, like the next day, and they have these really fancy last meals.
Oh, yeah, the last meal request, which usually these guys just want McDonald's, as far as I can tell.
Well, I would want much better.
Well, that's
But
you.
every time I'm in the hospital,
That's why
though,
you're not on death row, because you
That's
have
true.
some idea of a possible life with some decent things in it. But if you grew up with nothing decent, then you just, go ahead.
want McDonald's.
You want McDonald's. That's it.
I kind of look at the hospital as more or less of a death row because you could die in the hospital from anything, or you wouldn't be in the hospital if you were healthy, or you could catch something in the hospital and then go home and die from whatever you caught in the hospital.
True.
Therefore, in my head, hospital food should be just as good as the Kentucky Fried Chicken at McDonald's. I don't know. See, now you ruined it. I was thinking more like the guys that want prime rib and mashed potatoes and pheasant under glass. No.
I'm damned
Now
if
I'm going to have to start reading last meals to compare how many really order McDonald's and how many order
there's got to be some website somewhere where they list every executed criminal's last meal. Now that you mention it, internet
I'm
being what
sure
it
there's
is.
some AI chat bot that has that information.
Oh, there's a recommendation for AI. But your idea about not having McDonald's, getting like pheasant under glass, gave me an idea about the last meal from McDonald's. Because if you're really getting a super duper fancy last meal on death row, then you should be able to not only have what you want, but it should be served the way you want. So you could theoretically get an extra hour or 2 of life simply by saying, these French fries are cold.
True.
And depending how far away from the prison the McDonald's was, you could probably work that for a good extra 45 minutes on this mortal coil.
I'm just going to say this, and then
Go ahead.
we'll probably get sued. But anyway, did you see that Kim Kardashian is she failed the bar exam, and she's blaming AI because they didn't help her study right?
I am so benighted
I
that
see you're speechless.
I'm so benighted that I had no idea Kim Kardashian was anywhere near a bar exam. Did she go to law school?
She must have, because I don't think you can just walk in and say, I want to go to the bar.
You do.
Or you go to a bar,
You
but
can do
not
that. You
want
can
to
do,
take the
especially if you're a
bar.
Kardashian. You can totally do that.
Yeah, they're in a lot of bars. But no, she must have gone to law school. She's taking the bar exam.
No,
Or it could be the LSAT too. I don't know.
that's probably what she means. She probably doesn't know the difference.
I'll ask my AI guy. He'll tell me. Anyway, she blamed AI for not
Flunking
passing, and I
the
just
bar.
thought that was hilarious.
I know very little about Kim Kardashian. I'm not particularly embarrassed to admit, but she doesn't strike me as the kind of person I would want as an attorney.
It's your lawyer. Well, her dad was OJ's attorney.
Yeah, he was, but he's not the one who actually helped OJ.
He won.
No, it was, what's his name? If the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah.
That's the guy. Johnny Cochran. That was his name.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about my job.
Oh, let's talk about your job.
Let's talk about the Polar Express.
How is life on the mountains of what is it, Mount Williams that you're on? Mount Williams?
No. We're actually in the San Francisco peaks are higher than us. So we're just, I don't know, we're up the mountain from Phoenix.
Doesn't it have a name, the mountain that's up from you?
No.
No, really? Just generic mountain?
No, it's just the mountain of Mercy's problems.
Okay. All right. Well, so the mountain that
My mountain of issues.
the mountain from Williams to the Grand Canyon on which the Polar Express runs. What's the latest?
Well, first I'd like to tell you that there are actually people in this world that think that the train goes down into the canyon.
You did explain that. They'd seen YouTube videos, you said, with AI
fake
again.
YouTube videos.
Yes.
So, yes, there are those people. But now it started out like really slow at the beginning of December. And these are all families in pajamas because it's the Polar Express, like the movie. And let me just say, if my husband was walking out the door in some of these pajamas that we see men wearing,
Uh-oh.
I mean, like, come on, guys.
You have to elaborate. I don't quite. Are they obscene? Are they?
Yeah, there's a lot of junk that shows.
Oh, it's not the pajamas. It's what's underneath the
It's
pajamas.
right. It's like, yeah.
Has no one
I
explained?
would say, can you put on more underwear or bigger pants?
Yeah, I was just going to say, has no one explained to these guys that you're not really at home, you're out in public, and that at home it may be fine if your wife has a constant view of your private areas, but here in the town of Williams, Arizona, maybe not such a good idea.
I would never let my husband, maybe they're, proud. I don't know, but I would never let my husband leave the house looking like that.
Well, if the parent, the other parent, usually female but not always, if the other parent has like a passel of children, she may be distracted and not particularly notice the view of her husband's nether regions. Do you think maybe they're just unaware?
No, I think that they're showing off, but it's disgusting. We poke each other. Because we're all in the depot in the ticket office, right?
Yeah.
And so it's set up like Williams is an old West town to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So the Grand Canyon, or the Grand Canyon Railroad's gonna be everything's old, and so we're in like old timey, like you see in the movies, the ticket window things, and so we're all next to each other. Some of us stand and some of us sit, and usually there's 4 of us at a time. And we just
all wearing your Christmas sweaters, all with your Merry Catmas sweaters.
Yep. And we just poke each other down the line and laugh when we see these guys. But that was just a minor thing.
Is it real? No, not minor to me at all. A series of guys, not just one guy, but
there is way more than one.
How many guys a day would you say are on display there at the ticket counter?
Well, let me tell you, last night, I think we gave out 3,500 tickets.
Okay.
So it's really hard to keep count. I mean, that's a lot of tickets, and there were 4 of us. And that's 2 trains.
Right. I still want to know how many of these guys there are.
I can't. I'll keep a napkin next to me and mark them off.
I think you need to.
I'm going to say too many.
Too many. I'm going to say that as a private group of 4, you need to have some sort of challenge going.
That's a good idea.
Who's got a prize amongst you for who's got the ugliest, who's got the most, who did it on purpose. I mean, there's so many categories you could award for this. Thanks for listening to the Touri Writers She Said What podcast. Assuming you like what you heard, you might want to leave us a good review and maybe pick up my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can get from your independent bookseller or that giant website that sells absolutely everything.